on some stakeholders' efforts in the against the COVID-19 pandemic. First, let's join Adesua Osuyi with the news around the world. Stay with us.
To help ease the pressure on the world's overwhelmed health systems, as well as deal with increasing numbers of coronavirus patients around the world, an Italian design company, Cura, has teamed up with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology to build mobile intensive care units using shipping containers, giving patients a better chance at survival. The hospital pod is as safe for doctors as a typical isolation ward. The innovative design has windows to enable patients' families see them while staying safe from infection, and more units can be added as required. The pod, which is already being used in Italy, was built in just 4 weeks, while countries like the United Arab Emirates and Canada have joined in on copying the mobile intensive care units, which can be recreated by hospitals across the world. The team behind Cura plans to rapidly scale up the project in order to help tackle the spread of the virus in Africa. With COVID-19 forcing many at-risk persons to remain indoors, a Chilean community, Zapala, is using high-tech drones to deliver medications, masks, and hand sanitizers to its elderly and vulnerable people in isolation, as well as to disinfect public spaces. The solution is to ensure people get vital supplies without being exposed to the virus, thereby protecting both citizens in isolation and public health workers. The drones, remote controlled by government workers and loaded with bags full of supplies, lands in the town center, then blasts off the supply, which reaches as far as a 2-hour walk from the nearest pharmacy. Zapala, a beach resort, is normally a holiday destination for the country's elite, but is now on lockdown as Chile has confirmed over 10,000 cases of the coronavirus in almost 2 months since the outbreak. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused industrial activities to shut down, with many factories and businesses around the world closed. Combined with fewer vehicles on the roads as well as aircraft, the planet is slowly recovering from the effects of pollution, improving air quality around the world. After lockdown kept 500 million people at home, parts of China saw a 40% drop in the harmful toxic gas nitrogen dioxide, while satellite images show pollution levels dropping across northern Europe as well. With about 90% of the world's population breathing polluted air, which can cause respiratory infections, heart disease, and lung cancer, new studies have shown a relationship between bad air quality and more COVID-19 deaths. Although air pollution has fallen during the pandemic, countries around the world would have to take actions against it spiking again. Amid a continued upward trend in coronavirus cases around the world, some pupils of Liuan Elementary School in Taiwan, China, have built a hand sanitizer robot as contribution in the fight against the virus. An ultrasonic sensor detects hands, then activates a mechanism that pulls the handle on a bottle, delivering the spray of alcohol disinfectant. The robot shouts out, "Washing hands is super," while automatically dispensing the sanitizer. Liuan Elementary School started teaching its pupils robotics to equip the kids with skills to address future disasters, and had won a gold medal in the 2014 Lego Robotics Championships.
Hello everyone, my name is Yakubu Mohammed. I'm an actor. I'm calling on my fans, Nigerians in general, and the world at large to always, let's try as much as we can to see that we protect ourselves and we sit at home so that we'll be able to reduce the spread of the COVID-19. Coronavirus is real. It's killing a lot, it has killed a lot of people. So let's protect ourselves. Ways of protection are many. One of them is, whenever you're going out, if it is necessary for you to go out, make sure you wear your mask. Sit at home, that is to create this social distancing. Always wash your hand with sanitizers, with soap, and make sure you spend like 20 seconds washing your hands. Let's protect ourselves. By doing so, if we apply these measures that I'm talking about, we're going to reduce the spread of this virus. God bless Nigeria. God bless you all.
Agenda 2030. As a successor framework for the Millennium Development Goals, the global community rolled out a bigger, deeper, and more encompassing framework called the Sustainable Development Goals, designed to transform our world, lift the poor out of poverty, as well as ensure inclusive and healthy society. On Agenda 2030, we take you on a media trip to the global destination of the future we want. With everyone on board, we focus on the people and their struggle, the civil society and their agitations, the government and her development effort, the global development agenda, its 17 goals and 169 targets. We bring you all the deliberations, insightful conversations, and high-level partnerships on the road to global destination. Agenda 2030, showing on this channel. Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind.
With the government effecting lockdown and restricting movement within the country, the attendant consequences has been a drop in the economic power of the people. To cushion this harsh effect, well-meaning individuals and organizations have been distributing palliatives to the poorest of the poor in the society in a bid to leave no one behind. We bring you the story of how the First Lady, Dr. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is leading this pack.
The fight to end COVID-19 in Nigeria received a boost through the Get Involved initiative of Aisha Buhari Foundation, as various items were distributed to 3 state-level COVID-19 response committees. They are FCT, Bauchi, and Gombe states. Representative of the First Lady at the event, Dr. Hajo Sani, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Women Affairs, said Mrs. Buhari has shown deep concern over the spread of the dreaded coronavirus disease across Nigeria and has activated her Get Involved initiative in order to gather donations to support the fight. She expressed appreciation to those who donated, saying the nation will benefit from their donations.
When the issue of COVID-19 came on board, she has been struggling through her Future Assured program, and under the Get Involved, she made several calls to well-meaning Nigerians and at national and international level to see what they could do to contribute towards the fight against COVID-19. It is on that note she was able to get all these donated items, the beds, the bed sheets, different types of medications, the personal protective equipments in millions. Her first initiative was to set up the isolation center by herself and get the center furnished and donate it to the Federal Ministry of Health as her own contribution. But as time is going and things are changing, she has now decided to distribute these items to states and other organizations where they will be best utilized. So this has been her dream, to see herself being part of this humanitarian efforts, to see herself being part of the fight against any kind of social evils against humanity. And that is Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari under her Future Assured program.
A statement issued by Aliyu Abdullahi, the Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the First Lady, quoted Mrs. Buhari as calling on Nigerians to stay safe and practice social distancing in order order to defeat the COVID-19 pandemic. She called on the benefiting states to put the items to good use.
These are palliatives, medical equipment, and materials for the Kano State government for relief to aid them in this time of crisis, this COVID-19 crisis. And she hopes this will relieve some of the stress state government faces, and this should go a long way in solving some of the problems that they are faced with.
Speaking on the items distributed, Dr. Kamal Abdulrahman Mohammed, National Coordinator, Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured Program, said they included cartons of assorted hand sanitizers, pharmaceutical drugs, personal protection equipment, including disposable gowns, overalls, disposable and N95 surgical masks, gloves, protective goggles, regular and ICU beds with beddings, and automatic dispensers.
Her Excellency, through her Future Assured, considered it appropriate to make a contribution towards the COVID-19 response in the country. We are donating to the Excellency, through her Future Assured, considered it appropriate to also Bauchi State some hospital beds, mattresses, pillows, and bed linens. In addition to that, we are also contributing some personal protective equipments and devices to the FCT and these states as well. Additionally, Her Excellency is also donating today some medications, quite a number, for management of common ailments among the general population. So this symbolic gesture, I think, is quite remarkable in the sense that Her Excellency, through her Future Assured Foundation, a foundation seeking to improve the health and well-being of the citizens of this country, has deemed it appropriate to also lend in her support. I'm particularly happy to see personal protective equipment being donated today, because this is what the healthcare workers who are the frontliners would use to protect themselves. Protecting the healthcare workers is very important because, number one, they need to be alive and well to be able to take care of the patients of COVID-19. And at the same time, again, if we don't protect our healthcare workers, it is possible that some of them would also become potential source of infection. And at the same time, apart from infecting the patients that will be coming to the hospital for other services, they would also possibly infect their family members, children, relations, friends, and associates. So this is quite remarkable, and we hope that at the end of the day, the beneficiaries, or rather the end users of these items, will make good use of them.
Director of Special Duties, FCT Health and Human Services Secretariat, and member FCT Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19, Dr. Matthew Ashikeni, represented the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory at the event. He expressed appreciation for the donated items, which he said will go a long way in supporting the fight against COVID-19. He promised that the items will be put to judicious use and called on well-to-do Nigerians to support the effort of government in controlling the spread of the disease.
I want to convey the very profound appreciation of the entire people of the FCT. This kind gesture will go a long way to strengthen our response to the pandemic here in the FCT. And it will help us to provide a very comfortable place for our residents who are infected with COVID-19. At the same time, the health workers will be assured of their safety because of the protective equipment that have been donated by the First Lady. So I think it will strengthen the FCT response in a very significant way. And by the time you put it together, the whole nation will benefit from this gesture. Because, you know, FCT is the second highest when you look at the magnitude of the disease. So any response that will help FCT to really reduce the magnitude of the disease will generally reduce nationwide. So we're very grateful.
In the same vein, the First Lady also has donated both food and medical equipment, including drugs, to the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Federal Medical Center, Abuja, in continuation of her intervention towards curbing the spread of COVID-19. She made the presentation through Dr. Hajo Sani, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration. The medical items include large quantities of hand sanitizers and personal protection equipment, including disposable gowns, overalls, N95 surgical masks, and gloves. Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, received the items on behalf of her ministry, while the Chief Medical Director, Professor Saad Ahmed, represented the Federal Medical Center. They appreciated the gesture of the First Lady and promised to deliver the items to the expected recipients. Also, in a related development, Mrs. Buhari also presented food items to the Minister for Distribution to women and women groups as a palliative to support the vulnerable groups in time of the lockdown announced by President Muhammadu Buhari. These food items include large quantity bags of rice, millet, sugar, milk, gallons of vegetable oil, and tomato paste, amongst others. The Get Involved initiative was one of the many platforms initiated by the First Lady to generate donations from individuals and corporate organizations to address pervasive health problems and was last activated to address the issue of nutrition among Nigeria's IDPs.
Friends, my name is Chioma Omerwa, aka Chigol. I am a comedian and an entertainer as well as an SDG ambassador. Over the past few months, the global community has been plagued by the COVID-19, which is a disease caused by the novel coronavirus. Now, as we know, the pandemic is real, deadly, and it poses a huge threat to our collective health and economic well-being. But the challenge is surmountable, with our collective resolve and with everyone taking responsibility. Now, I know it has been very difficult, but I urge all of us to please pay attention and obey strictly all of the instructions and the guidelines issued to us by federal and state health authorities regarding social distancing and personal hygiene. I am optimistic that the government remains committed to protecting all Nigerians and leaving no one behind. So let's all come together and stay safe together apart for the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals.
On their part, the SDGs champions, a group of National Youth Service Corps members advocating for the SDGs, also made their impact felt as they visited some communities in the Federal Capital Territory with their contributions. Chinam Menna Anita, Vice President of the group, took us through the humanitarian activities of the champions.
As part of our contribution to support the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in the society, the NYC SDG group distributed some relief materials to the people of Karamajiji community in Airport Road, Abuja, Nigeria, where awareness campaign and sensitization on COVID-19 was carried out to the people in the community. We advocated for clean environment, frequent washing of hands, and the use of face masks and gloves in order for them not to contact this virus. We made an illustration, like a demonstration, on how they can be able to wash their hands, you know, and we asked the chiefs and the people in the community to come out and demonstrate this. And then we gave them like a bowl and we placed it in front of the chief palace where people coming inside the palace can wash their hands. And then we also gave them free hand sanitizers. and then masks to people. We also distributed food items to people in the community, and everyone was excited, you know, that information was being passed, and then food items and relief materials were being given to them in the community. It was collective contribution from the NYC, FCT, and the SDG, that's the Sustainable Goals. It was a collective idea between these two to support people in rural communities with relief materials and sanitizer and face masks.
My people, how are they? I'm Nansel Nimiel, and I am known to most as Zadon Paporella. I'm a musician, a producer, an entrepreneur, and most importantly, an SDGs ambassador. Coronavirus is real. It poses a huge threat to our economic and health well-being. Let us join the government in the fight against this virus by complying with the guidelines and instructions issued by both federal and state health authorities regarding maintaining social distancing and personal hygiene. Together, I believe we can fight this virus and eradicate it from our midst. The challenge is not insurmountable. Please stay safe so that we can all attain the SDGs.
Remember, you can always watch this program and other episodes by subscribing to our YouTube channels on youtube.com/Fresh News TV and youtube.com/Agenda 2030 TV. You can also watch the program live on Facebook. Just log on to www.facebook.com/Fresh News NG and www.facebook.com/Agenda 2030 TV. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Agenda 2030 TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember to drop your comments and share with your contacts. Do use the hashtag Agenda 2030 and hashtag Agenda 2030 TV. And that has been the size of our program this week. Do keep a date with us next week as we bring you another refreshing episode. I am Tony Nkamiang John. Thanks for staying with us.